Hello everyone, we are about to start our next session here, which is about herbs and medicinal by Carmen from Jesus Loving Homesteader. So she's got it all set up over there. I might try to walk you over there first before being here so that you actually get to see the board. As you can see, I'm upstage with the light over there to give you a good overview. But let me just show you her board first, where she's got all the herbs and all what we're going to talk about here. So, calendula, thyme, oregano, lavender, comfrey, evil, yarrow, purple cornflower, and lemon balm. So lots, and on that side it's all the herbal tea and the balm salt. A lot of interesting information in there. Just wanted to give you an overview before going. Once again, the presentation is by Carmen from Jesus Loving Homesteader. So if you want more, I will just check her channel. But let me get you situated up there. Over there on top. Where you actually, so we still have the pressure canning going on over there, as you can see. The automated one where you've got nothing to do, and the one where one is watching. So let me get up there. It's a pretty steep right there, and get you situated with the light. Let's wait for Carmen to stop talking here. He's getting ready. So let me plug my phone. It's holding pretty good actually in terms of battery, but I want to make sure it's not going to cut in the middle of a stream. So that should be good. Alright, let's wait for Carmen. Everybody's taking a little break here, having a snack. We're running a bit behind on schedule, but all good. Some really good question, answers, information, and skill sharing here, which is all what this was for. You can see the talk over there on the side. Same over there by under, as you can see, we talk. All right, let me put this back. And it should be just a few minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it's working. I don't know about the sound. We're gonna have to test the sound from here when she starts talking with the mic. So you guys are gonna have to let me know if the sound works from here or if I need to go back a bit closer. I just thought the view was a bit better from here.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I will introduce her because she's not going to introduce herself, I'm sure. This is Carmen. Carmen is the
Can you guys hear from here? Can you please let me know for those who are live on the live? Can you hear?
So she's a very, very intelligent person. She's going to teach us today about herbs and things like that, and medicinal reasons. So we're going to
Yes, Keith? Good sound? Okay, let's wait for the lady because she's the one doing. She's an actual teacher, so it should be interesting.
Hello. Everybody take your seats, please. Everybody take your seats, please.
Thank you, Keith. Let me know when she starts talking. Here it's Eric, and he's got a strong voice.
Okay, as I said, for Jesus Loving Homesteader, look her up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. She's going to teach us about home remedies or medicinal things, all that stuff.
Hello. Okay. So although I am on YouTube, I am not good at public speaking. So I get a little awkward. Oh, I already did it wrong. Okay. So I'm a very visual learner, which that's why we have a little science fair set up right now.
I think she's speaking okay, and you can hear. Let me know if not.
Take a picture of any of this information. I have herbs. I have medicinal benefits. I have how you grow them. I have a bunch of different information that you can go ahead and grab your phone to. So first we're going to cover some of my favorite herbs.
It is. It's actually really nice, Keith. And if you want to see the herb board, I went straight at the very beginning of the live stream. So you're going to have to go back and the first minute or two, I show the board.
And the majority of them are great for a permaculture garden. They're great for coming back this year, perennial. Right now we're going to talk about calendula. Calendula is very easily done from seed in the early springtime, but it will not grow continuously through the summer. So the majority of the growth will happen in the spring and the fall. It will not stay alive the whole year, but it's very easy. It drops its seeds, and it very easily comes back. So if you're not, maybe you don't have the best soil, and that's a reality for a lot of us. A lot of us have to continuously add to the soil. I would go ahead and when it goes to seed, I would grab those seeds and I would just replant them for next year. So calendula is amazing for the skin. So if you're dealing with psoriasis, and I am not a doctor, and anything that you do with these herbs is not my fault if something goes wrong. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay. Now, calendula is amazing for the skin. Psoriasis, dermatitis, aches, like scratches, and bruises, and just adding glow to the skin is amazing herb. So the flower is soothing, healing, antifungal, and antiseptic. Calendula is great for sunburn, chapped lips, minor burns, cuts, scrapes, inflammation, rashes. It's used in ointment. We use it in, we make an oil out of it, which I'm going to discuss a little later. It's called oil infusion, and it lasts for about a year. And we add that oil to different creams and salves and lotions that we make. I know sometimes you'll see these lotions and salves online, and you'll see how much they are, and you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. You know, it's actually very, very simple to make a basic salve. Very simple. It's just a matter of making sure that you get your herbs. Now, part of the reason why I started growing herbs is because I wanted to make our own little healthcare situation in our own home. But with that, we are a Christian family. And if a lot of the places that sell dry herbs are not Christian, I would even go as far as being very bold and saying that a lot of it is used from people who are doing witchcraft, Wiccans, white magic, all that stuff. And that's just the reality of what it is. I didn't feel comfortable buying herbs companies that I didn't believe what they were doing was okay. So I said, all right, well, I'm pretty bold to say that. What am I going to do? I need to grow my herbs for my own family. So we decided to all these herbs here. Thyme and comfrey. Comfrey is an amazing herb. Okay, so you do not take that. Most people in the old days used to take it internally. I don't take it internally. I think I've researched enough to just weigh out what I want to do. We use it on the skin. We use comfrey as a fertilizer, and we use it for our animals. If you are running low on feed, or if you want to amp up your feed a little bit for your animals, you can dry out the comfrey and you can crush it and add it to their feed. It is extremely good for them. Very, very medicinal. You can make an infused comfrey oil salve for the skin. It is known for healing broken bones, sprains, putting them back, mending them together. I actually know a person whose son had sprained one of his fingers really badly. And right then and there, she was able to get her comfrey salve, put it directly on the finger, and for a couple weeks, it was completely healed with no damage. So there's a lot of medicinal benefits to that. So for this fertilizer, you soak the leaves in water. You can do it in a regular bucket. If you have a bigger garden, you can get a Home Depot tote, fill it up with water, add the comfrey leaves, let it sit for 2 weeks with a lid on. It is going to smell terrible. Terrible. But that is one of the best fertilizers besides manure that you can use in your garden. And comfrey is also a perennial. It's very easily grown, but in the heat this year, I found that it did take a hit. So what I would recommend for our area, so Texas full sun is not full sun on the packet. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know a lot of you have probably learned that the hard way. Okay, our sun is rough. So I would recommend doing comfrey in a more almost partial shade, or at least getting a little bit of shade towards the afternoon. So it would be a really good plant to plant amongst taller plants, maybe even fruit trees. Something that can shade it just a little bit so you can ensure a great harvest of the comfrey during the really hard summers. Oregano. Oregano is one of the easiest herbs you can ever grow, right beside mint. Okay, so oregano, once you plant it, by the end of the season, it would probably triple if you're happy. And the way we do our oregano is I take a shovel, I cut it right in the middle, and then I move half of it somewhere else. You can never have enough herbs. You can do it in the front yard, backyard, the garden. They will grow if they're happy. You know, add a little bit of compost, make it work, and it will do just fine. Infused as a tea for coughs, stomach disorders, nervous system, headaches, irritability, general exhaustion, menstrual pain. You can apply it externally as an antiseptic for swelling. I spoke with someone earlier who said their rooster had gotten attacked by foxes, and they ended up putting oregano in the water and setting the rooster in there, and they ended up using it as internally for the rooster, and it healed up so quickly. A lot of these herbs can save you a lot of money and time not having to go to the doctor. I always recommend try herbs first. And I'm not against going to the doctor, but I believe that a lot of these minor things can be helped with herbal remedies, natural remedies. Try it first. Save money. Lavender. Okay, so lavender is a hit and miss where we live. What I've found is the English lavender grows far better than the Spanish lavender in my experience. I have had English lavender live for years happily in my garden with me barely doing anything to it. Just make sure that they're not in a heavy watered area. So your lavender does not like to be wet. Their root system does not like to sit in water. So if you have lavender in an area where it's too wet or you're constantly watering, move it. And herbs are awesome too because once their roots are established, you can move them very easily. You dig it up and just move it where you want it. And lavender, I'm sure you guys all know, that's also a great skin herb. You can infuse it as a tea to soothe headaches, ulcers, fainting, dizziness, even flatulence. Lavender is great for rashes, sunburn, insect bites. Thyme. Thyme is one of my favorite herbs because you can, now, some of these have edible in it. It doesn't necessarily eat like, lemon balm is edible, but I did put edible on there because it's not something you usually grab for a meal, like you would oregano, thyme, or something like that. But a lot of these can be eaten, but using them topically is more medicinal way. So, purple coat flower is hydrophilic, can be dried, used great for treating infections, acne, abscesses, fever, anti-inflammatory. The majority of these herbs are anti-inflammatory. In our time and day, let's be real quick, we don't eat well, okay? And I also added this to one of the other boards. Even before we get out the herbs, we have to make sure we're eating well. We have to make sure we're hydrated. We need to be drinking water. So when I say hydration, I don't mean Coca-Cola all the time or Dr. Pepper. We need water, and a lot of you are looking to do homesteading. So guess what? That means we're going to be outside. That means we're going to be needing to be moving. A lot of us probably are going to eventually have homes where we want to stay home time and have a business on our homestead. You need to be healthy during that. You need to be healthy in that. You need to be moving. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're eating for nourishment, not just for joy. So, and then we can probably skip a lot of the herbs in the general to be healthier. And then we can just add more supplement or vitamin use. So, bee balm. Bee balm is beautiful. It is beautiful, and it actually grows native here. Their little flowers look like little fireworks. I love them back in the garden because bumblebees love them. And it's one of the first flowers that come out to show the pollinators that, hey, this is the place to be, y'all. Come over here. So I get super excited when I see the bee balm. So antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, soothing for coughs, skin, stomach cramps, infusing in tea relief nausea, flatulence, menstrual pain, and insomnia. And ladies, I know a lot of us are younger or you have children, younger girls. The first thing the doctor is going to tell you for menstrual pain is going to tell you to on birth control, or he is going to try to give you some type of pharmaceutical. There are so many herbs out here good for cramps. So many. So let's look at the more natural ways first. Lemon balm. Lemon balm is used for digestive upset, stress, insomnia, and breaking heads. Place fresh leaves directly onto insect bites and sores, and you can infuse them in tea to relieve fevers, colds, and headaches.
Yes, I agree. Carmen is great. Yes, she knows her thing. Makes you want to grow everything in your garden.
But this is just me. I'm scared. I'm not scared of forage, but I wanted to create that environment in my house because sometimes when you are out foraging, there are plants that look very similar to what the medicinals are. And yarrow is one of those that look very similar to poison hemlock and things like that. And it's very scary, especially for teaching your family how to forage responsibly and stuff. My children are still young, so I'm not running out there showing them how to forage things right now, especially something that's as dangerous as that. That can be a matter of being severely sick if you're mixing up things like yarrow and poison hemlock. So I ended up creating an environment in our house, or at our house, in our garden, to where I can send them to the wildflower garden. I can send them to the native area in our garden to pick out yarrow, to pick out bee balm. They know what to look for, it's starting to prepare them to learn that, hey, you know what, we can seek that first before we pop a Tylenol, before we pop all these things that are over the counter. Again, I am not against doctors, I am not against prescriptions, but I know for a fact that the symptoms and the things that we have, the majority of them can be handled better with herbs and sooner with herbs rather than taking something off the counter and then having to deal with all these other things. You go for your knee hurts and then all of a sudden you got a headache and then you're bleeding internally and the doctor's like, oh, well, you didn't see those words on the bottle? That was a thing that it said. I love my family too much. I love my family too much. And I grew up in a household that all I did was go to the doctor. I mean, I coughed and I went to the doctor. My dad was that guy. We're from New York. Okay, there was no natural, there was no nothing. Okay, so we went to the doctor. And I realized, you know what, I want to do something better. When we know better, when we learn these things, we're more adept to do better. And I want to teach my kids better than what I knew. I'm thankful for my parents, and they only did what they knew to do. So, a dehydrator. One of the main ways to dry herbs is a dehydrator. A lot of people use a dehydrator for herbs. A dehydrator can be used with nearly all herbs, but especially good for herbs such as basil, oregano, tarragon, lemon balm, and mint. These herbs have a high moisture content, and they often mold if they are not dried quickly in a dehydrator or some other method. The way that I choose, well, first let me tell you how much. Okay, 95 degrees Fahrenheit to 115 degrees Fahrenheit for about 1 to 4 hours. If you are like me and your house is very humid, our house is very small, and our front door is here and our back door is here. Dehydrated food is very hard for us. And it's double the time whatever it says for me to dehydrate. What I ended up doing, well, my husband built us a rack in our dining room. It's a more calm area, it's more cooler. And what we do is the traditional way, we bundle up the herb, we put this on it, we turn it upside down, we hang it, and it dries that way. I keep it there until I can feel a leaf and it crumbles in my can. And then directly from there, I'll put them into jars, and I will just keep them in a cool closet. That's how I do it. There are many, many methods to how you preserve your herbs. Herbal tea. Okay. All right, so there are two ways that you see people drinking tea. So there's the tea bag. Traditionally, you can go to most stores and buy tea bags. I recommend buying organic tea. That's my preference. And then you can buy a loose tea. So if you were doing your herbs at home, loose tea is the easiest way. If you can buy a tea kettle with an infuser insert, or you can buy inserts for your coffee mug or your tea mug, and you can just put the loose leaves in there, and you can let it steep, close it, and that makes it a lot easier. All the steps for making the tea, I made sure I put it on the board. If you would like to see that later, there are different kinds of flavors. I know I have preferences to my tea. I enjoy tea. If I'm not using it specifically for a medicinal issue, I just drink it for joy. So there are citrus flavors. If you want a more citrus flavor, there's lemon balm, lemon verbena, lemon peels, orange peels, lemongrass, lemon thyme, minty flavors, anything in the mint family, which bee balm is also in the mint family. Flavor for it, cinnamon, cardamom, ginger. Floral flavors, chamomile, hibiscus is delicious. And you know what? I'm growing it for the first time this year. Hibiscus, the ones with the roselle. Okay, hibiscus roselle. It grows amazing here. Like, I am blown away by how quickly it's grown. It survived the high heat. I just watered it normally, and it's just starting to bud now. And that's where you're going to get the good flavors, and hibiscus is very medicinal as well. Cold cold and flu season. So I added to the left because, like I said, I am very big on let's take care of the problem first. Wash your hands. Eliminate or substitute sugar, processed sugar. Stop touching your face. Fermented foods and probiotics. Eat nutritious. Keep your body moving through day to day. Chores and exercise. You do not have to go to a gym to get exercise. You do not have to pay that $20 every month to get exercise. You go outside, you walk your yard. You do your laundry. You go to the kitchen and wash dishes. You work your body, y'all. It's not hard. You don't have to pay that extra money to go to the gym. Reduce stress and get rest. Rest is very, very important. We need to be sleeping. Okay? Fresh air, laugh often. Vitamin D is a great immune builder. Water. Stay hydrated is a must. Drink water. Okay, some good herbs for the cold and flu season: elderberry, garlic, ginger, thyme, echinacea, which is the purple coneflower, and peppermint. So garlic is anti-inflammatory. That is one of the best things you can eat and keep in your house. Garlic is also fairly simple to grow. If you don't get a perfect bulb from your garlic, that's okay. Don't get rid of it. You wash it really good. You can dehydrate it. You can cut it all up and put it in oil. Keep it in the fridge. Just because your produce doesn't look perfect doesn't mean that the medicinal benefits are no longer in there. It's still good. Don't be defeated. You can do so much with it. You can even eat the greens. The greens have just as good as benefits. Ginger is another great one. It's an anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, digestion, circulation, reproductive system. Overall, these are very great herbs. All right, so we're going to talk. Are you laughing at this? No, I'm sorry. Okay, oil infusion. This is where my notes come in handy. So dry herbs are best for oil infusion. Herbal oils can turn rancid or grow mold, especially if a good carrier oil is not used. A carrier oil is something like grapeseed oil, coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil. Avocado and grapeseed are your best friends. They're great, strong oils for when you want to do an oil infusion. And this is just a great way of preserving for things like making a salve and for your skin, for hair care. Okay, so some oils are not very shelf stable. Like olive oil is a great oil, but it's not as shelf stable as grapeseed and avocado. But if you want to, if that's all you have and you want to use it, you can add something like vitamin E oil. Vitamin E oil is a preservative. You can put a few drops in there, and it'll help it with shelf stability, but you can't ingest it after you put vitamin E oil in it. Okay, so but with the stabilizer, it can make the oil inedible. Yep, the carrier oils I prefer for my infusion are avocado and grapeseed. Okay, so with herbs like rosemary, oregano, sage, thyme, and even garlic, you can make a cooking oil infusion. So with your cooking oils, you can do this and you can put the oil inside and you can cook with that. I'm going to teach you a quick way of how to do this. Place the dry herbs in a clean dry jar. Leave 1 to 2 inches of cooking space above the herbs and then pour your carrier oil choice. I put that in a cool, dry, dark area. I do know people who infuse it on a windowsill. I'm not against that, but for me, I am just super, super picky, and I want to make sure that I can avoid any problems necessary. I go ahead and wait the longer time. So if you put it on a windowsill, you can have it there for, 5-6 days, and it can be ready, and it can be infused. But if you keep it in a cool, dark area, it'll take more like 3 weeks. to all the way up to like 8 weeks to really get an infusion going. But the sun is not taking some of the nutrients from the herbs, and it just, the longer it sits, the better it is. And there's less mold or happening things like that. I just like to play safe. That's just me, but you can do it any way that you feel comfortable doing it. We're going to talk about, oh yeah, you have to strain your herbs too. When you get your herb, when it's ready after that time, you strain it, you grab the oil that's already strained, and then you can put it in an amber jar. An amber jar is pretty much a dark brown jar, and because the less light that gets to your oil, the less problems you have. I mean, it just lasts way longer. So you can grab amber jars super cheap on Amazon. You can go to the state sales. You can, if you're buying kombucha or if you're buying anything from the store, you can reuse the bottles from the store. I've done it many times. So we're going to talk about a tincture. That's the one with the vodka. I was like, I hope they know I'm not lying. Yeah, so a tincture is when the herbs are extracted in alcohol. Concentrated extract. Depending on the herbs, you can put 3 drops of tincture under your tongue, or you can use the tincture as a spray. For wounds and infections, that is the best way to use the tincture. Just mix up a spray and spray directly on whatever you're needing your herb for. Tinctures can be stored for over 20 years. That is the absolute best way to store your herbs, making a tincture 20 years on the shelf. Fresh herbs are best for tinctures. Chop or bruise them up to release the oils before you put them in the alcohol. You can use fresh herbs, chopped herbs, or blend the roots. Add to a clean jar. Use equal parts of each herb. For your mix, you can use a 40% alcohol to cover the herbs. Shake the mix every day for 6 weeks. I say every day for 6 weeks because, again, I want to make sure that all this time I'm putting into this, that it comes out right. But if you want to wait a couple days, it's fine. Every few days to shake it, that's up to you. So shaking daily, and then you strain it, and then you label the jars. So when you're doing tincture or when you're doing oil infusion, your choice with what herbs you want to use. You can mix and match. A lot of these herbs have the same kind of benefits, but when used together, it's just more powerful. So it is up to you on what you want to use. A great spray tincture mix is comfrey and calendula. Now, the only thing with comfrey that I forgot to mention, if you have a deep wound, do not use comfrey on your deep wound. Sometimes the healing in the comfrey is so strong that it'll almost heal it before it's time. So that can cause infection. So make sure that your wound, like if it's a deep wound, you're not using comfrey directly or as soon as that happens. Use something else. Use like a calendula or something else first. And then when it's almost healed up, I would go ahead and do the comfrey. So comfrey and calendula is a great for wounds. Yarrow and lavender are great for wounds as well. For a spray, you will use 50% alcohol and 50% the alcohol is in the tincture in the alcohol, and then 50% water. It'd be filtered water. Shake and spray. Don't make a big batch because a spray with the water added to the tincture will only last 3 days. So it would be like a hurry up and make it type situation.
Hey, Aris.
If somebody
Ladies.
Or something,
In your cheeks. Good to see you.
Mix just a little bit, and you spray it on, and it'll be good for 3 days. So don't make a huge batch. Don't waste your stuff.
So here you're watching Carmen from Jesus Loving Homesteader.
To make a salve. Salves are just easier. I have younger children. They can grab the salve from my room, use it directly, and it's just easier for our household. A salve is an herbal infusion combined with a beeswax to thicken to a solid state. You can also make a salve with your oil and like a shea butter. If you want to buy raw shea butter or mango butter is pretty much the same exact thing as shea butter, except the smell is not as strong. So if you don't like the
How are
smell
you
of
starting it,
flavor,
Iris? Did you
try
get
mango
seeds
butter.
or
It has
did you get
supposed to
a
go
small
smell.
plant somewhere?
And that I know a lot of people who prefer that. Very simple to make with great benefits. You combine the infusion, the oil infusion, with beeswax on a double broiler, and you do a fourth cup of beeswax to 1 cup of oil. And you make sure it mixes really well, and then you just pour it in your glass jar. That's it, or those little tins. So simple. And these are those mixes that they're charging $15, $20 for. You can make it at your own house. With your kids. I've made them with my kids so many times. Very simple, very quick way. Calendula is my favorite mix to do because we're all around about skincare at our house. You can strain your mix before you add it to tins, but I find that I don't get any, since I strained it really well when I made the oil infusion, I don't really have to strain it again. It's just an extra step if you'd like to do that. A poultice is the easiest way, first of all, the fastest way. You crumble up your herbs, whatever it is, you add a little bit of water, and you just put it on whatever situation
Thank you,
you have
Iris.
going on. So if
Yeah, we don't have any, so that's why I was asking.
you can do a mortar and pestle, those little things, or you can just go to the kitchen and cut it up, or just like squish with your fingers, add water, and just put it directly on.
Maybe you can bring some at our next meeting if we make one. We'll see.
You don't have to, but poultice is a great way to do a quick healing situation. So what's this thing? And Oxymel. Okay, Oxymel, I have never heard of Oxymel up until recently. So Oxymel have been used for ages for a variety of respiratory and immune system issues, including cough and mucus. That is one of the worst things we have in a household during the winter time. There is nothing worse than your baby's coughing, especially in the middle of the night. Nothing worse. So one of the things, this is safe for them, for your older kids over 1, especially, to just either get it ingested, or your babies, you can put it on their body, you can put it on their neck, you can put it on their back. So it's made from vinegar and honey. They're tasty and simple herbal preparations. They're great for dry cough and a mucus buildup. 1 part apple cider vinegar, 1 part raw honey. Combine apple cider vinegar with raw honey in a sterilized glass jar. Mix well with a clean, dry spoon until both are fully combined. Label and store in a cool place, free of moisture, for 6 months. If you don't have an area that is cool, free of moisture, I really prefer a dark place. You can get away with not having it in a dark place when you buy the Amber bottles. Go ahead and get the area ready. I know people who store this stuff under their bed, in little containers under their bed. I know we store it in our hallway closet. We created shelves. You don't need some special apothecary cabinet or anything. Do what you gotta do and put it where it fits. I'm sure you have some place. Oh, elderberry syrup. I'm sure a lot of you know about elderberry syrup. I see people around this time selling it very, very often. It is an amazing for the whole family. This is a very basic, simple recipe. You can buy organic dried elderberry.
He's great.
Online.
Very enthusiastic.
You can buy them from Etsy, ETSY. Some people grow their elderberries and then they sell their berries on there. I'm growing elderberry, but my word, y'all. The heat is elderberry's worst nightmare. They need water. Like, they need a lot of water. So if you know, which I knew, that your area does not hold water, like as much as they need, heavily mulch. You have never mulched before, and I'm serious. And you make sure you keep up watering, because this is what's going to happen. Your elderberry is going to grow lush and beautiful, and you're like, yes, I did this, I got this, it berries. And then it's going to hit July, and that heat is going to hit, and your elderberry is not strong enough to produce the berries,
Hey, Debbie.
in which the whole reason why we grew this. So make sure you have a spot with water and they enjoy full sun. So half a cup of dried blueberries, 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 4 teaspoon of ground cloves, a tablespoon of fresh ginger, and half a cup of honey. And you cook it all up into a syrup. And that will last us in the fridge for 4 weeks. So I went ahead and cooked 1 teaspoon a day for child and 2 teaspoons a day for adult. That's not very much. That is not very much. It is a very simple recipe. It's just a matter of us making time for things that are important. Everybody has time for the things that they feel are important. Everybody has time for the things that they feel needs to be done. If this is something you're serious about, you'll make time. And it's a matter of just taking hold of the health of your family, and not only family, but your animals. I have a few information I didn't give you, but on chickens, Irish chickens, rabbits, and ducks, there are specific herbs you can use for your animals. So for chickens, oregano is a natural antibiotic. Thyme is a natural antibiotic. Bee balm is a natural antibiotic. Spearmint stimulates egg laying. Chamomile is calming and helps to keep the yolks yellow. Calendula makes the yolks richer, high in carotenoids, and repels bugs. Garlic is great for them, but getting chickens to eat garlic, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not going to be easy. But it is great for them. Stinging nettles. Okay, so stinging nettles is something that is kind of hard because they hurt. Okay, stinging nettles hurt. They will give you a bad rash. But they are one of the most strongest, wonderful herbs you can ever get. So we actually grow stinging nettles, which we kind of died in the summer, but we still grow them. So we grow them and we dry the leaves and we preserve them for medicinal benefits. You can put them in smoothies. As soon as you wash your stinging nettles, the stingers start to go away. When you cook it, the stingers are completely away. So you can eat stinging nettles and maintain the benefits of them without getting stung. Just make sure you're harvesting with a good glove or whatever. They're really nutritious and great for your body. And they're amazing for allergies. If you're dealing with allergies, stinging nettles is amazing. So for the chickens, stinging nettles are mineral rich, replenishes the building blocks for nerves, blood, and liver, and they reduce stress. So for rabbits, black oil sunflower seeds, which I'm sure a lot of you know, it's good for their coat. Okay, so borage is a laxative and it increases milk flow for the nursing does. It also helps relieve stress. Chamomile is pain relief and calming. Cleavers. Okay, so a lot of you probably have cleavers. They're like these little, I don't even know how to explain, I don't have a picture. But they just like pop out of the ground and then they have these little leaves all around and stick to you. Like if you grab them, they'll stick to your shirt. Those are extremely medicinal. They're annoying, but they're extremely medicinal. You cut them up, you dry them. I've used them to feed our rabbits many times. I've added them to whatever their food was. I give them like a hay substitute sometimes. Just to make sure that animals, because I'm eating those animals. I want to make sure that just like I'm making sure my family is healthy, I want my animals healthy. I want them to eat right, and I want to make sure that they're doing well because that's going back into the cycle into my family. And just like a lot of us don't want to get to the point where we don't have to buy meat from the market or vegetables from the market because of different reasons. A lot of the time it's chemicals, hormones, steroids, and different things. I want to make sure my animals are good. And that's part of the reason why we raise animals. We raise them so we know what they're eating. So I think it's very important to incorporate some type of herbs in their diet. Comfrey is healing for bone formation. You can cut it down, dry it like hay. You can store it for the winter for your rabbits. They love comfrey. Ours love comfrey. They eat it up. Ducks. Ducks are funny little creatures because they eat when they want to eat. So like I can get all this great composted, all this stuff and scraps, and I'll throw it at the ducks, and they look at me and they're like, I ain't trying to eat that right now. But they'll go back to it. They like to their forests, natural forests. So if you have herbs growing alongside their fence or in different areas, if you hang them for the chickens, you can dry the herbs or you can keep them wet, put a string, hang them by their coop area, hang them in that area. Eventually they'll start picking at that. And it's just they're eating it on their time and it's still medicinal. Great herbs for ducks. Dandelion, wheatgrass, parsley, rosemary, oregano, calendula, and mint. All very healthy herbs. Allow them to choose what they like. They are natural foragers. I have on that one, I think that was the last one I gave you, right? Okay. So I have on that one, grow herbs, pick herbs, dry herbs, preserve herbs. You can buy from Amazon, there's hanging, kind of like neck situation. That's what we use, and I cut up my herbs, and put them on there, and I'll give it, I don't know, a week. And usually they're dry again, and I take it from there. We also, like I said, we have a bar system where we hang the herbs upside down. There's so many different ways you can do it. There's really no excuse. So, I think I covered everything. So growing herbs, the majority of them, like I said, they want full sun, but not this full sun. So put them in an area where there's somewhat partial shade or they get a little bit shaded in the afternoon, unless it's something extremely hardy, like sage and oregano, stevia, they love sun. So they did not die for me this summer. Make sure you are adding a little bit of compost or mulch every year because all plants eat. They need nourishment as well. You can't just put them down and neglect them. So make sure you're adding fertilizer every year, and they should grow well for you. The majority of herbs, you can take the shovel, cut them in the middle, move them around, give them some friends, propagate from the top. Right now, the majority of herbs should be growing new growth. You can take that new growth, cut it off, take the bottom few leaves, put them in water or put them in soil, keep it moist, and they'll grow more herbs for you. Very, very easily propagated. So I hope I helped you guys and encouraged you guys. Thank you for listening.
I want to do some more raffles.
Oh, raffles.
One thing I want to add, guys, the importance of those herbs is, if you're looking at the future here in medicine, you're not always going to be able to go to the drugstore or to the doctor and get some of these things. So that is the importance of the herbs. These pharmacy companies are taking these same plants and products, putting it in people form for your convenience. That is not always going to be available. Get these herbs, our YouTube channel, other YouTube channels, they tell you what to grow, how to grow, where to grow, all of that good stuff. Follow her. She can get you the information that you can use.
Jay, ask me how many minutes we have left.
Can check in how many minutes on the old style canner versus the new electric canner.
Okay, 39 minutes.
39 minutes left on the big canner.
We got 12 minutes left.
12 minutes left on the electric canner.
So we still have pressure canning going on in the kitchen over there. I think we're gonna take a small break here, do a raffle, and then it's probably actually me talking about incubating 101. So I'm gonna start a new live by topic after this raffle. So stay tuned. I'm gonna restart. Oh, Nanya had.
761.
Oh, good. It's not me. I already have plenty. Good.
761. Any takers? 761. 761. 824. 824.
Oh, we got a winner for the Nanya hat. Yeah, he's got a hat, so that's good. Well, thank you all for coming and supporting Carmen. That was a great presentation. Very interesting. I tried to go through her board at the very beginning, so if you go back to the beginning of the stream, you should be able to see it, but it's rather quick.
766.
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut here and restart on the other live.
If you all are not familiar,